When we first started homeschooling, all I wanted was for somebody to tell me just how the day should be put together. Being a fly on the wall in somebody else's home for just a day would have been really helpful. Well, that was 7 years ago. And if we haven't met yet, hey there, I'm Melissa, homeschooling mom of four and work from home mom. I also love sharing a little bit about what our homeschool day looks like here on YouTube. So if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and like this video because we are here to share and make this journey a little bit better, a little bit easier for everybody involved. So today I want to share a little bit about what my day looks like, what goes into getting everything done in the house, in school, and also working from home. The idea is that you would also feel a little bit of a sigh of relief that you can put these blocks together how you need to. Every family is going to look different. And the idea is just that you would walk away with a little bit more confidence. So that's you. Let's get started. Let's get rolling. One of the most important things about my day is habits. And I've shared about this before, so you can check out those videos after this one. But the idea is that I've got things that I know are really important and need to get done. And so I kind of slot those in as non-negotiables. For me, this means starting my day very early because if I don't get some of these things done, then the rest of the day just feels off kilter. Maybe you have one of those too. I'd love to hear about it. Leave your best habits, your most day altering habits below. Would love to hear what you guys do as well. But for me, that means waking up early. I am a morning person and this sounds obscene, but I do get up at 4 o'clock. I teach online and that happens early in the morning so that the rest of the day is more focused on our family. So when I wake up at 4, I also want time to read the Bible. I want time to pray. And I also want time to work out. So that gives me about an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes to get those things done before I teach from 6 to about 8:30 in the morning. Now, let's back it up just a little bit. That kind of self-care block, we could call it, from about 4 to 6 in the morning includes making coffee, taking vitamins, making sure I drink a lot of water. It actually starts the night before when I bring up a couple of water bottles to my office so that they're already there. I'm not carrying a big armload of water bottles to my office at 4 o'clock in the morning in the dark. I've also got my coffee already preloaded in the coffee maker. So it's just pressing a button and going. So these are just little things that I can do to get my day set up and rolling. Next up is my work block. Now, getting things done in that work block is really important to me so that I'm not doing them during our school time or during the other times that I need to be doing other things, which you'll see later. So that means getting the kind of 5-minute tasks. If it takes 5 minutes or less, I can do it now. Let's just get it done now. Is it an invoice? Is it an email? Is it a lesson plan? That sort of thing. So having those tasks off my list frees up some brain bandwidth for later on when I'm working with kids or doing other things in our house. So that work block is again until about 8:30 in the morning. And then I head downstairs, which is where our kids have been working on math and eating breakfast with my husband. And so begins kind of the third block of the day, which is our school block. So I am going to grab my oatmeal out of the fridge while I sit down with the kids in order to work on their independent and language arts work. This is something that kind of flowed naturally for our family, but as my husband enjoys teaching them math and he happens to be downstairs while they're eating breakfast, we just have them work on math with him during that time. And so it's easy for me to hop in. We've got kids rotating on the computer for some of their computer activities. I'll leave a link to some of our favorite websites and apps that they use there, as well as music. We have a piano and a ukulele that they need to work on. They've also got some sort of physical activity, and sometimes they have French, their foreign language that they take. So there's a lot going on, a lot of rotating through, but they're also rotating through time with me. Something to keep in mind here is that we don't have a set schedule. Who goes first with mom? Who goes second, third, fourth? It's very natural and it's whoever's ready. So, hey, this person is ready. Do you mind if I sit down and we'll do language arts with him while you get your writing done? Hey, why don't you do your book report while I'm working with her? And then we can switch. there's always this kind of time management thing, and it's part of the executive functioning that kind of allows kids to make the decisions and anticipate what comes next. If you want to know more about that, I had a great conversation with Carrie Bonnet about that, so I'll leave that linked here as well. But these are just good skills that keep kids a little bit more independent and kind of grow those muscles so that they can anticipate what they should be doing, rather than the nagging and the being the moms that we don't really want to be and saying, why haven't you done this yet? We can equip them with those skills. So again, we're working through language arts, but I'm also thinking, what comes next? Lunch. We have 6 people in our family that need to eat lunch around 12 o'clock. We're pretty serious about that 12 o'clock mark because, as you'll see later on, there are things in the afternoon that have a firm time stamp on them. So the idea is to defrost something when I get my breakfast going. I'm going to take it out of the freezer, maybe defrost it somehow, or take out some leftovers, but make a plan for food for lunch. I am not a big meal planner. I would love to make that happen, but some days you just have more or less time. Some days kids will come to me with a cookbook and say, hey, can we make this for lunch? And they want to help. That's great. I just want to leave a little bit of room for that. So that's why we kind of fly by the seat of our pants. So maybe that means popping some rice on the rice cooker, maybe a slow cooker, maybe something in the oven that's a little bit more slow roast, so I don't have to stand over the stove and, do a lot of veg prep, that sort of thing. But I would say one thing that cuts down on lunch prep time is having a lot of the veg already chopped and frozen. So a lot of cauliflower, a lot of broccoli, a lot of spinach already in the fridge, sweet potatoes chopped and put in the fridge so that it's ready to use when we are ready to use. Apart from that, a lot of what we eat is fresh. And so, taking advantage of that and making sure our family's eating well, but also that it doesn't take too long to prepare food. You know what I'm talking about if you're there. I still think it's like a miracle that all these people all over the world are preparing food for their family. So high five if that's you. And if you're ordering out and going to Chick-fil-A or whatever, there are days for that too. But as much as possible, we're trying to cut down on those costs. And for me, that's one way that we can do it, is prepping and having as much possible just ready to take out of the freezer and get going. From about 9 a.m. to noon, that's when the brunt of our schoolwork gets done. So that's language arts. It's a lot of computer work, a lot of that extra practice, math problems, that sort of thing. So like I mentioned, we use a lot of online resources for that, but they are working through editing, writing with me, doing book reports, and then our preschooler is sitting down and doing kind of a morning meeting and activity with me. So all that gets done between 9 and noon. Then we're moving on to lunch. So lunch, we read one piece of scripture. Everybody kind of reads it if they're able to read. If not, they repeat after me. We read a devotional, and then we eat. Often we'll eat and just chat. Sometimes if it's just chaotic, you know what I'm talking about, we will put on a podcast. We love Greeking Out, but there are a lot of other great kid podcasts that you can check out. After lunch, there is a cleanup process that needs to happen. So kids know that their plates go in the sink. They need to bring me their toothbrush. If they're of that age where we need to help them brush their teeth, they bring their toothbrush and toothpaste to wherever we are. Just helps keep things going. And then after that, they're moving on to a few other activities, such as using Nearpod or Flocabulary to practice a few social studies or science topics. They're also working on quiet work, quiet projects, or just playing with puzzles and stuff like that. Our 2 youngest still take a nap in the afternoon, so they know that they need to get ready for that. And I'll sit down and read them a chapter in a book that we're reading, or a short book for the youngest. That's their case. And they're off for a nap for about an hour and a half. While the older 2 are doing things like crafts, painting, folding laundry. If there's laundry on the couch, that's something that they need to take care of. There should be nothing on the couch. And so they'll just deliver it to the person's room. In our family, maybe you have different values than us, but we just don't fold. I don't fold. I don't spend time folding. If a kid would like to fold their clothes, they are welcome to. But for me, I feel like my job kind of ends in getting the clothes clean and making sure that they're delivered to the room. So kids are in charge of that, and they are welcome to fold their clothes or hang them as they see fit. One more note on cleaning up. I always clean off the countertops, but there is one kid in charge of sweeping. So that's just one less thing on my plate. And it's something that they need to learn how to do anyway. So it's helpful to have them be in charge of that as well. It's really great to lay this out ahead of time. Somebody's in charge of sweeping after lunch and somebody after dinner. That's a really good way to handle it as well. In the afternoon, from about 2 to 3:30 in the afternoon, that is another one of my work blocks. So this is when I do a lot of my meetings, a lot of lesson planning, grading, and other kind of content creation type moments. But this is the type of block that gives me a little bit of breathing room so that I can catch up on some of those things that I, put away at 8:30 in the morning and I can come back to at this point. I will say that sometimes in this work block or between about 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock, that mystery hour where sometimes I'm still reading to kids, sometimes we're still finishing lunch, that sort of thing, that could be used for a few different things. It could be getting a bonus cleaning task done, like cleaning a toilet or something like that. But now my older kids are starting to be able to help with bathroom cleaning as well. So a lot of times that gets done on the weekends when they have a little bit more time in their schedules. But if I need to do it, that's when I do it. I also like to get in kind of a bonus workout, a little afternoon sweat session. So sometimes I'll run stairs for 100 calories or jump rope for 100 calories. All of this while listening to podcasts. I really enjoy it. That's how I get my news. That's how I stay on top of what's going on in the world. Otherwise, we don't really turn on the TV during the week. So that's kind of where that happens. Lots of flexibility in here for, minor crises or whatever. But if there is the opportunity to do that, that's when that happens. So second work block from 2 to 3:30. And then after that, we might have an afternoon activity, sports activity, or there might be kind of a free afternoon for me. Again, this is more planning or work block stuff in the afternoon. This is also getting ready for the next day where I'm preparing oatmeals. I am reorganizing our book pile so that each kid has their books needed for the next day in one spot. And also just general house cleanup. So I don't know about you, but a good rage clean for about 5 minutes, just go through the house, pick up all you can and deposit it where it needs to go. That is something that can be really helpful in just keeping the house a little bit more livable, less chaotic. Definitely something that needs to happen in our case, perhaps yours as well. I'll often throw in a load of laundry at this point as well, so that I can throw it in the dryer before going to bed, and the next day it's ready. After that afternoon activity, be it sports or something else, we'll have dinner. Thankfully, my mother-in-law is amazing, and she often cooks for our kids in the evenings. If not, they're at our house, usually eating leftovers from lunch, and then we're off to the races for that nighttime routine. Now, I usually teach from 7 to about 7:50 or 8 o'clock in the evening. So if that's the case, my husband is getting them ready for bed. So what does that include? That includes practicing piano, practicing ukulele. A lot of times they'll use a YouTube video for this, or they'll just set a timer for 15 minutes and practice. They'll also read the Bible and get their PJs on, and then we're rotating through, getting teeth brushed and things like that, making sure their rooms are clean, their bedrooms are free of books. That way our books stay on the shelves rather than in people's rooms and they don't get lost. And just a general house cleanup. Again, making sure any laundry that has migrated over to the couch gets back to the people's room where it belongs. At that point, I'm usually finished with class, so I'll come downstairs, get myself ready for bed, and we'll sit down and read the Bible and pray together. This is just our day, you guys. This is something that has worked out for us well. And as I work from home, this is kind of where I inject my work blocks in there as well. It'll look different for you, but I just hope this is helpful for you. If you are kind of journeying into homeschool, or you're already homeschooling and you're just like, something doesn't feel right, something isn't jiving, take a look at your schedule and see, are there habits you could cut out or add in that would make things flow better? Whatever your schedule looks like, you're doing something important. So if nobody's told you yet today, thank you for doing what you're doing. It is important, and happy teaching.